Hey everyone, so today's video is about linking sustainability with anti-fragility. So bear, bear with me on this one. But a lot of what I've been thinking about recently is how do we make sustainability a more attractive thing for people? I think when people think about sustainability, they think about having to give up on certain things, having to change what they do in a big way. And I think, that kind of approach of saying to people, oh, you can't do that, or that's bad, or like berating them is just not the best way to progress things in sustainability. So I wanted to focus on the benefits of sustainability and what that means. And that led me down the road of thinking, okay, so what's the opposite of sustainability? Fragile, transient, they don't seem like good things. And then that also led me to think, well, actually flip that back round again. What's the opposite of fragile and transient? Anti-fragile and enduring. And to me, they sound like pretty attractive things. So let's think about how we might want to be anti-fragile and enduring. I guess the other thing I want to talk about as well is that I often think about sustainability in sustainability of growth, or sustainability of being able to continue to develop, grow, and progress, because I think that's just a fundamental need for a lot of humans, and so any other form of sustainability is just not really viable. So, maybe we could reach a point where we are in complete homeostasis with the Earth and the planet and the animals here, but I think that would require humans as a whole to not want to grow and spread and progress, and I just think that is something that is just not going to be possible, given it's kind of an innate human nature to want to change things, improve things, try new things. I'm always talking about sustainable growth rather than just sustainability, because I think the opposite of sustaining something is probably resilience, so being able to bounce back to baseline, and then the endurance piece sticks as well. So can I stay the same for my whole life? Which doesn't seem that attractive to me either. Anyway, let's dive into this and just link a few anti-fragile concepts with sustainability. And for those of you that don't know the concept of anti-fragile, Taleb sets out in his book Anti-fragility here. I think this book is amazing. I've been dipping in and out of it for a long time now. His book, Fooled by Randomness, was kind of one of the first books I read before I started working in the finance industry. And obviously I've been heavily involved in kind of terrorist protection kind of ever since. So yeah, really recommend this book. The concept of anti-fragility is really interesting to me, particularly now from a sustainability angle. So yeah, Taleb's book, Anti-fragility. Right, so link one, as Taleb always says, step one of becoming anti-fragile is to eliminate anything that risks wiping you out. And that makes sense, because if you're doing something and you want to do it sustainably, probably the best thing to do is to work out, is there anything that might stop you from being able to continue to do this, and then work out if you're taking any risks that might be leading you down that path. So yeah, in finance, this is a super interesting. Let's say you want to compound your wealth for an extremely long time. Step one is to make sure you're not taking any risks within your investments that would completely destroy your capital base. So the classic one is selling options in the market, because you've kind of got unbounded risk, so that could completely wipe you out. Other things, maybe in real life, smoking, for example. Obviously, every time you take a cigarette, you're increasing your risk and your likelihood of dying prematurely from cancer. And so that's a type of risk which you should probably avoid if you want to continue to progress for a long time. You might get away with it, but that's the nature of risk. There's multiple outcomes. You don't know which one's going to happen. You've got to decide whether or not to take that risk. So yeah, step one, eliminate. If you want to be sustainable and you want to grow sustainably, step one is to eliminate anything that might take you out from your growth process. Link number two I wanted to make, if you want to progress sustainably, is to embrace randomness. So randomness exists everywhere in this world, and I think if you embrace it and just deal with it and roll with the punches, then you're much more likely to be able to continue to do what you're doing on a regular basis. So I really like the analogy of Netflix have a program they call Chaos Monkey, which just randomly attacks their various systems, and their employees have to work out how to fix that. And I think that's just a great example of building resilience and I guess even kind of progressing from randomness, because you kind of learn where issues might be, and then you kind of fix them and you become stronger, ready for the next kind of random attack. So yeah, embracing randomness is really important. I think if you're trying to do something sustainably, if you randomly get knocked off course for some reason and then use that as an opportunity to give up, because you've, let's say the whole thing's ruined because you've got this one random event that kind of knocked you off course, I think that is not sustainable, and it's not, it's obviously a definition of fragile. Fragile things break when exposed to randomness. So yeah, sustainability is all about embracing the randomness inherent in this world and rolling with it as you go. Then link number 3 I wanted to make was about building in redundancies and backups. This is something that was actually quite new to me, because I have this kind of mindset of efficiency and leanness, and everything should be just optimized for the right situation. The problem is that could lead to you being wiped out, because if you've got a single point of failure or a point of fragility that fails, then you're done for, right? And if you look around the world, any kind of sustainable system has redundancies built in. So human race, quite sustainable, has been progressing for a long time, it's been around for a long time. Guess what, we got 2 eyes, 2 hands, 2 legs, one goes, then you've kind of got something else to fall back on. Look at airplanes, for example. They're backup engines because they want to be able to fly sustainably across the world. Like if one engine fails, we don't want the whole thing to fail. So yeah, build in redundancies into your process. A simpler example would be, let's say I wanted to sustainably get better at cycling over the next 10 years. Probably a good thing to do would be to have 2 bicycles, because if one broke, I could just go out on the other one, and that way I would never have to miss a training session, or if that bike got stolen and I couldn't afford a new one, then I'd have to wait to get a new one. Let's say this was like an example from COVID where I actually ran out of there was a global bicycle shortage, so you couldn't get another one, which meant I couldn't train. So yeah, I think building in redundancies is quite an interesting one. Try and look around and see if you've got any individual points of failure. One of the ones I recently indulged in was, I realised that my old Garmin was getting really kind of, it's on the edge of breaking, but it's not quite broken yet. And I decided to get a backup Garmin. I just got the cheapest one, just so that if that one ever went, I'm still able to kind of track my workouts and stuff. And yeah, it's expensive. This is the cheapest one they did. But yeah, it enabled me to just be a little bit happier around the fact that that kind of single point of failure had been eliminated. So yeah, that was my video linking sustainability with anti-fragility and kind of touching on 3 key points. Eliminate the risks that will wipe you out completely, embrace randomness, and look for building in redundancies to address single points of failure. So yeah, hopefully you can take those lessons, apply them to your real life, so you can grow sustainably and avoid being taken out. Recognise that it's not always your fault if you get knocked off course, and look for areas where you could build in redundancies to help reduce the risk of you not being able to do what you want to do. So thanks everyone. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section down below, and we'll see you next video.